integrating China? Because we know, Mr. Speaker, you do not bite the hand that feeds you, Mr. Speaker. You help, you make sure that these relations between the two. Government has identified the problem of their tension between these two countries already. This will only exacerbate the tension in between, in terms of China being angered, China's interest in Taiwan and Taiwan's interest in China. It will become more difficult for the two countries to work together. And that, Mr. Speaker, we're proud to propose.
Now, let's look at the benefit that they brought up. First of all, they have been talking about the economic benefit. Opening government talked about it, there will be economic benefit because this policy removes barriers. Closing talked about export, import, that sort of chat. First of all, what we told you is that there is, no thank you. What we told you is that China and Taiwan are already pursuing economic prosperity together by showing treaties like THBT Taiwanese, which is essentially a free trade agreement, and they have agreed to gradually reduce the tariff of 800 types of products to the zero at the end of the day. So what we say is that these nations already see the benefit in pursuing economic prosperity together. Well, thank you. The response from government is that, if Taiwan becomes independent, it's going to be difficult. But what we tell you is that, integration in economic level and integration in political level is completely different. We see lots of other sovereign states who are seeking economic integration with other regions, but still sustain their own sovereignty, still sustain control over authentic, their own population. So what we are saying is that this is completely different. And because this nation, because Taiwan has succeeded in agreeing this economic integration without giving up this principle of pursuing independence, this is still, we think their benefit is, their benefit does not stand. Secondly, let's talk about this security of region. We think opening government talked about this proposal brings about benefit in a security sense because there will be no tension between Taiwan and China. What we say is that this is actually the opposite, and we believe that what we want to analyze is that the United States who are actually protecting the security of liberal democracy in Asia, East Asia nations do not like the increasing influence of China. Right? And after taking this proposal, what this proposal does allows is that China will be able to extend its military base to Taiwan because Taiwan will be under the control of China. So we believe that given that the recent China's aggressiveness, China has been drastically increasing its military budget. China has been invading disputed territorial areas such as Senkaku Islands and other areas. We don't think we believe that the United States, we have sense. And what we heard from closing is that that Taiwan is not ready to arm herself. Like as my partner has already explained, also we believe that Taiwan has certain capability in military. Since they are already spending certain budget in buying arms, so they are already arming themselves. And moreover, we would say that US is more than ready. US is more than happy to back up Taiwan if it is necessary. Like I said, that this is not likely increasing influence China.
Could you please tell us how the international community will not be hostile to Taiwan when they are afraid of retaliatory trade measures coming from China?
What we say is that, first of all, what we say is that we are not saying that our case will suddenly achieve the complete independence of Taiwan. But what we are saying is that there is a certain value of Taiwan in upholding this independence in terms of national identity. And this is actually what we want to protect from side position. Now let's briefly look at the principle right to pursue independence. Thank you. What we say is that this right to pursue independence is something fundamental. Each citizen, regardless of their nation, regardless of where they are born, should be able to decide on their own what policies to take in the future, because these people are the ones who are most affected at the end of the day. And what we heard in response is that these people, like Taiwanese people, will still be able to have their own policies, maritime policies and that kind of stuff. First of all, we point out that there are policies actually Taiwanese people will not able to have their own such as diplomatic policy. How can Taiwanese people have different diplomatic policies as China if Taiwan will be under the control of China? And moreover, what we point out is that China will actually increase their influence upon Taiwan, because China is claiming one China. And we don't think China will suddenly allow. We don't think China will still allow this against Chinese government. So such as what we see in Hong Kong or Macau. So we don't think we believe that freedom of expression is also undermined. Moreover, what is crucially important in today's debate is this policy actually undermines national identity of Taiwanese people. That's what we have been saying. This identity to pursue independence from China is a democratic will. Taiwan, we don't think this policy can neglect this will, and we think this is actually instrumental. Quickly, let's look at the practical harm, the other areas who are seeking independence, like Tibet or Uyghurs. But this policy legitimizes one China policy. This policy essentially says that because China is actually a huge nation. We should not offend China, and we shouldn't have tension with China. This policy actually sets back this movement towards independence of these areas by legitimizing this one China policy, by legitimizing embracing influence of China. This policy affects the movement not only at the domestic level but also in the international level